Good morning, and thank you for joining me here. I wonder whether it was the picture of the sleeping baby that's enticed you in. I bet you wish you were back there. They certainly look happy, don't they? What I want to talk to you about this morning is something that I think is really important in terms of your mental and physical well-being. This series of videos is all about getting up, getting on it and going. So this is the getting up bit. And sleep is so important, but I really want to talk about waking. So first of all, what is sleep important for? Why is it so good for us? Well, sleep is good for your cognitive development, for using memories, storing them, and deleting ones that you don't need anymore. It's good for problem solving during your REM sleep, solving complex problems. And it's good for your health outcomes now and in the future. Things like risk of cardiovascular disease and dementia have been shown to be linked to a healthy sleep pattern earlier in life. It helps to regenerate your resources, your glycogen stores ready for the following day, things like that. And it makes you happy. After a good night's sleep, your levels of a stress hormone called cortisol are found to be much lower, and that contributes to a feeling of well-being after a good night's sleep. All right, so literally having to wake up happy. So that begs the question, why do you sleep and why do you wake up? Why should you wake up? Well, the first study that was done on this, or one of the first studies, was in 1938 when two renegade scientists went down into Mammoth Cave in Kentucky and stayed there for a month in pitch black. And what they found was revolutionary at the time, which was that at first they woke up and went to sleep, felt tired and went to sleep at the same time that they did when they were living their normal lives. In other words, they didn't need any light stimulus or anything like that to keep to their sleep cycle. But then, after a while, in the absence of light meant that their body clock started to shift and it started to drift away from a normal 24-hour cycle. And it turned out that it was actually 24 hours and 15 minutes long, their body clock. And what that meant was that if you give your body clock the right signals, you can influence when you wake up normally, healthily, and when you go to sleep, without any sort of pharmaceutical intervention or anything like that. Later on, we started to dig into why we wake up and we sleep, and it turns out there are two reasons why. So if you look on the right hand side, there's a blue graph. I know how much you guys love a graph, so here they are. On the right hand side, you've got a hormone called adenosine, which builds up in your brain all the time that you're awake. And then the moment you go to sleep, it starts to be cleared out of your brain. And what it does is it provides a sleep pressure. So it makes you have the urge to fall asleep. And sleep clears it away, so when you wake up in the morning, there's none left in your brain, and you feel good and awake and alert. And then over the course of the day, it starts to build up again. On the left-hand side is your circadian rhythm, which is like your daily sleep-wake cycle. When it is up, that's you feeling more alert, and when it's down, that's you feeling sleepy. And the way it works is a little bundle of cells in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nuclei. Don't worry, there won't be a test on this. But it's releasing a hormone called melatonin, and melatonin, you might have heard of, is a hormone that affects all sorts of areas of your body, partly your brain, but also your heart, and various other areas of your body, to do things like increase or decrease your heart. Well, melatonin decreases your heart rate. It slows down neural activity in certain areas of your brain. it decreases body temperature, so it makes you feel sleepy. And so when you're going to sleep, hopefully adenosine and melatonin are both high. And when you're waking up naturally, adenosine and melatonin hopefully are both low. But if they're not, then they can make you feel groggy. So if you wake up artificially, you can feel groggy, you can feel irritable, maybe you can feel a bit stressed or worried or sick, and that is because of those two hormones. Okay? I wonder how you wake up. You probably, because you're going to school and you live in modern times, you probably wake up artificially with an alarm clock or somebody shaking you awake or something like that, or flicking the lights on and off. For me, it was getting spritzed in the face by a water gun when I was, a teenager going to school. So that explains why you feel irritable in the morning. And, it's no wonder, and, it's horrible. Not least because there are two factors that increase that, especially for you. Teenagers need a bit more sleep than a lot of other sectors of society. On average, teenagers need about 9 hours of sleep, and on average, teenagers are getting about 9 hours of sleep. So that contributes to a bit of sleep deprivation. Also, teenagers are biologically wired to get their sleep a bit later in the 24-hour cycle than adults are. And so it means that society isn't really set up very fairly, because you're forced out of bed in the morning to go to school, and so you feel tired. And so it's no wonder that you're tired in the morning and that you want to sleep at the weekend, because you're catching up on lost sleep during the week. So what can you do about that? Well, to be honest with you, there isn't a huge amount you can do, because you have a limited amount of control. So something that you can do is to be mindful of what's making you feel the way that you're feeling. All right, and this is where meditation that's been suggested to you in other videos might come in, like meditating on where and being mindful of where your feelings are coming from. And it all comes down to this sleep pattern. And the other thing that you can do is choose, and you don't have to make this choice, but you can choose to exercise the power that you do have over your sleep cycle. And you can do it by doing some really basic things. So your body clock responds to a couple of particular stimuli. The most important one is light. So if you wake up and you greet the day and you throw open the curtains and you see bright light streaming in through the window, then you're going to teach your body clock that that's the time that you're going to wake up. And at the end of the day, if you have dim lights and it's quiet and calm, and you're not looking at any bright lights, then that's going to teach your body clock that that's your time to go to sleep. Equally, you could wake up in the morning and do some exercise, and that teaches your body clock that that's the time for you to wake up and be active. And over time, you can shift your body clock forwards. Nathaniel Kleitman and his colleagues taught us that, and it's since been verified by all sorts of very complicated studies that I won't bore you with here. So I think those are your choices. My suggestion actually would be a combination of the two. So be mindful of your sleep-wake cycles and the level of control that you have. You don't have ultimate control. Biology is in charge of a lot of what's going on in your body, and you don't have control over that. But you can play your part. You can influence it a little bit just by checking when you're exposing yourself to bright light and when you're exposing yourself to things like physical activity and particular foods, things like caffeine, which incidentally blocks adenosine from your brain, so that's why it makes you feel more alert. But yeah, the ultimate thing is, don't let people put pressure on you to sleep a particular way, because it's your sleep pattern, it's not theirs. And the power that there is over your sleep pattern is yours. But to be honest, most of that power is biology's and science's alone. And what a surprise that is. So I'm going to leave you with just a couple of thoughts. Hopefully you can take something from this video to improve your mood in the mornings. But just a few last thoughts about sleep, that it's excellent meditation. So sleep alone is excellent meditation. You don't need to meditate during the day if you're sleeping well at night. Sleep is not a luxury, it's not laziness either. Sleep is a hint of lovely oblivion, I like that. And lastly, there is no sunrise so beautiful that it is worth waking me up to see it. That is true. Think of the health benefits and the mental health benefits of a good night's sleep. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I wish you a pleasant day and, of course, a good night's sleep.